Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video, we're going to make some recipes that do not require the use of your oven. I don't know about you, but where I live, it is extremely hot. I believe the high today was 114, which is just crazy. So I'm always trying not to turn on my oven, and I use my stovetop, my air fryer, my griddle, whatever I can just to avoid baking anything in the oven. So today we are making 4 different recipes, all made without using an oven, and I think you're really going to like them. So let's go ahead and get started. First up today, we're making these easy steak quesadillas, and these were probably my favorite meal out of the entire week. To begin, I am just slicing up half of a yellow onion, and then moving over to my stovetop, I'm adding about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter into my cast iron skillet. Once the butter is fully melted, I'm going to go ahead and cook the onion in here. You can season the onion if you want to with a little bit of salt and pepper, but it's really not necessary, so you don't have to do that. Cook these onions until they have got some color on them. At that point, even if they're not all the way done yet, that's okay. Go ahead and add in your steak. I'm using 1 package of this beef shaved steak today. Using a fork, I'm just going to try to break this apart a little bit. That way it cooks a little bit more even. Now this steak is going to cook very quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasonings. I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and then just a couple shakes of salt and pepper. Get this mixed together, continue breaking up the steak if needed, and let this cook until the steak is no longer pink. This should only take a couple of minutes. Now moving over to my griddle, I'm just spraying a little bit of avocado spray on there and then adding my tortilla on there. I'm using a burrito sized tortilla, adding in some of this queso quesadilla cheese. Over top the cheese, you can go ahead and add just a couple spoonfuls of your steak. There is no right or wrong amount, just add as much as you need. And then over top of the steak, we're using this chipotle sauce from Taco Bell. I tried this a couple weeks ago for the first time, and now I'm obsessed with it, so I really wanted to make these steak quesadillas, and I'm so happy I did. If you don't like this sauce, you can replace it with any kind you want. Walmart carries several different Taco Bell sauces, so you can use a different one if you like, or just add salsa or something along those lines. But I definitely recommend this chipotle sauce because it is fantastic. After adding in the chipotle sauce, go ahead and flip over the other side of the tortilla and let this cook for a minute or 2 until each side has browned up nicely. Here's what my finished plate looked like in the end. I did just go ahead and cut this into 4 equal pieces so it would be easier to pick up and eat. And on the side, I made just a little bit of some cheesy Mexican rice. This meal was so good. We ate every bit of this night, and I cannot wait to make it again. Next up, we are making this loaded potato salad. My husband hates potato salad, but he loves this one, so I make it quite often. To begin, I have about 8 red potatoes here. This is going to end up being close to 3 pounds of potatoes. I am just going to wash these really well because we are keeping the skin on. Cut them up into larger pieces and add them into this pot. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fill this up with some water and let these boil until they are fork tender. For me, this usually takes between 10 to 15 minutes. In the front here, I am bringing over my cast iron skillet, and now we're going to go ahead and begin cooking some bacon. In total, I'm cooking about 6 pieces of bacon. Once the potatoes are done, go ahead and add them into a bowl and let them cool down just a little bit. If they're still steaming, you want to wait until they are no longer steaming. Now I'm just chopping up 3 green onions. I'm going to add most of that into the bowl with the potatoes, but I'm also going to set just a little bit aside for the end. And then with the bacon, once it's done cooking, make sure you give it a minute to cool off and remove any extra grease. And then you are just going to chop it up, add most of it into the bowl with the potatoes and the onion, and then also save a little bit of it for the end. Next, you can go ahead and add in 1 cup of sour cream, half a cup of mayonnaise. Make sure you're using mayonnaise and not Miracle Whip. 1 cup to 1.5 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, just depending on how garlicky you want it. And then just add a couple shakes of salt and pepper. You can season to taste. As soon as you get this mixed up, you can taste it and see if you need to adjust it at all. Once it's mixed, go ahead and put it in the refrigerator covered for at least 30 minutes. You want to make sure it's nice and cool. Here's what my plate looked like in the end. I did just go ahead and top it with more of the bacon and green onion that we had saved. And let me tell you, if you're not a big fan of potato salad, this can easily be turned into a casserole. Once you get everything mixed together, add it into a 9x13, top it with some more shredded cheese, and then bake in the oven until the cheese is melted and it's heated through. Next up, we are making some grilled cheese hot dogs. I used to make these all the time when I was younger for me and my little brothers on the weekends. To begin, you're just going to need a pack of hot dogs. It doesn't matter what kind, whatever kind you like. I would recommend not using the cheesy ones though, because they will burn really badly. Slice each of them in half, but not all the way through. You want them to still stay connected. And then once your pan is nice and hot, you can go ahead and just lay them flat down in there and let them brown up on each side for a couple of minutes until they get some color on them. Once the hot dogs are done, go ahead and just set those aside for right now. And I am going to switch pans because my smoke alarm was going off from this black one, so that's why I did switch to this new one here. I took a little bit of butter and buttered both sides of my hot dog buns, just like you would with a regular grilled cheese sandwich. And you're just going to cook them on each side for just a few minutes until they get nice and brown. Into the inside of the hot dog bun, you're going to add in some cheese. I'm just using some shredded mild cheddar cheese. Place the hot dog inside and then let the cheese melt for a minute. Here's what my plate looked like in the end. You probably saw these in the last recipe because I did make them with the potato salad. These are so easy and kid friendly. Me and my brothers, like I said, used to have these all the time and they would gobble them up. It was very easy for me to make when I was younger. So now it's just one of those things I just like to make every once in a while. And now last but not least, we are going to make this sausage and veggie summer skillet. To begin with this one, I'm going to go ahead and chop up just a little bit of red onion. This was about 1/4 of a red onion. Then I'm slicing up about 4 ounces of mushrooms, 2 smaller zucchinis, half of a red bell pepper. My bell pepper was frozen, that's why it looks a little funny here. And then you'll just need 1 smoked sausage. This one is turkey, but you can use any kind you like. Cut it in half and then cut them into half moons. Once everything is all chopped up, you can move over to the stovetop, and at first you're going to just cook the sausage. Once the sausage is nice and browned up, this should only take about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to remove it from the pan, add a little bit more olive oil in there, and now we're going to cook all the rest of the veggies. For the seasonings, I'm adding about half a teaspoon of chili powder and then half a teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder. Give this a good mix together and let this cook until the veggies are all tender and have some nice color to them. Meanwhile, you'll want to make sure you cook up 2 ears of corn. It doesn't matter how you do it. You can boil them, microwave them, grill them, whatever you want to do. Once they're done, you're just going to cut all the corn off of both of the cobs. Now you can add the corn and the sausage in with the cooked veggies. Give this a good toss together and season with a little bit of salt and pepper if needed. If you've been here a while, you already know that my husband didn't eat this on this night. He actually wasn't here, so I made this for myself, and this is my favorite type of meal. I love just throwing a bunch of veggies together, and I added a little cheese on top just for a little something extra. This was the perfect summer meal. It was refreshing and light, but still very flavorful and satisfying. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did make it all the way to the end of today's video, be sure to leave me a flower down in the comments below, and I will see you back here on Sunday for a new video. Bye!